My fellow Americans, either the government belongs to you or you belong to the government. It's either one or the other. Now, this government no longer belongs to you, and it hasn't for a long time, but we can fix that. We can make it your government again. Which is why, as your virtual president, I would like to have a series of brief discussions about the practical ways we can return your government to its original owners, you, the American people. Now, I know many of you feel that this out-of-control government doesn't feel legitimate anymore. The word legitimate actually means according to law. And when the government itself doesn't obey its own laws, then the agreement between the government and the people, what's called the social compact, breaks down and is eventually destroyed. Now, the idea of the social compact is actually very simple. The government is instituted by the people. That means that we give the government certain limited powers and not the other way around. And they derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, which means that if the government follows the rules and limitations imposed upon it, then we, the people, agree to be governed. But if, on the other hand, individuals within our government break the laws that we impose upon them by spying on us, by intimidating certain groups politically with IRS audits, let's say, or by selectively enforcing laws against some companies and not others based on political donations, or by arresting people who make a certain embarrassing movie, or by covering up political scandals and enforcing silence on the witnesses to those scandals, that kind of thing. Well, then the government has become lawless. The social compact is broken, and they no longer have the consent of the people and are therefore illegitimate out of lawfulness. In other words, illegal. Our series of conversations is going to be based upon what is written in the Constitution of the United States. There are 4,400 words in the Constitution. It is the oldest and by far the shortest Constitution in the world, and that's not a coincidence. You know, the great unsung hero of the Constitution was a man named Gouverneur Morris. During the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787, Morris headed the Committee on Style, and it was his job to reduce the actual mechanics of how things worked into language that anyone in America could understand. If the people cannot understand a law, then the law is illegitimate by the definition of our system of government. So let's compare the Constitution of the United States, which at 4,400 words is the blueprint for the entire federal government, to the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. Now, this bill is not 4,400 words. It's not 20,000 words. In fact, it began as 2,500 pages long and has already grown to be more than 20,000 pages long. Here is the U.S. Constitution and, parenthetically, the Declaration of Independence. Here is a picture of Obamacare. The American people were famously told that they had to pass the bill to find out what's in it. But even that outrageous statement wasn't the end of it. We passed the bill, and no one knows what's in it. 20,000 pages of legislation and regulations cannot be comprehended by anyone. That is why the first step in reclaiming your government is to ensure that all legislation is clear, precise, and understandable. And as your virtual president, I will veto any bill not written in simple English sentences, any bill with riders unrelated to the title or target of the legislation, and any legislation greater than 4,400 words in length. If the entire Constitution of the federal government can be covered in 4,400 words, then any issue that the government addresses can be done in the same or less. I will not sign into law any bill that I did not read and understand, and believe that you could read and understand as well. Now, that doesn't seem an unreasonable requirement for a nation ruled by the people that your government serves. Men like Gouverneur Morris did such a superb job of clarifying and reducing the words needed to run the federal government that he had a little room left over to add a sentence of his own, which he put right at the beginning. He wrote, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." It's your government, and it belongs to you, the American people. I thank you for your time today, and next time we'll talk about another way to return the American government to its rightful owners. So, good night, God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.